such clothes which expose the upper part of the chest, the cleavage and the shoulder. So is it halal or haram? I believe the question posed is talking about a tailor stitching clothes for a lady where the upper part of the chest is seen and the cleavage and the shoulder are seen. So is it halal to stitch such clothes? First, you should realize what is the purpose of these clothes. Normally when you stitch undergarments, but natural, it's possible to show the cleavage, and it's perfectly fine because the clothes worn are under the other clothes. But if there are other clothes where you know that a lady is wearing clothes only amongst the ladies, and if some part of the body is exposed, then it's not haram. But wearing such clothes otherwise outside, it is not permitted. So depending upon the clothes, that if you know that you are stitching clothes for ladies who are going to wear an abaya on top of that, then it's perfectly fine. But if you know that you are stitching designer clothes and people wear these clothes, not wearing a coat over it or wearing an abaya over it, and if you are aware of it, stitching such clothes is not permitted. Because Allah says in the Quran, in Surah Ma'idah, chapter number 5, verse number 2, that help one another in righteousness and taqwa. Do not help one another in sin and rancor. So if you are making clothes which you are aware that ladies will be wearing for parties and exposing the bodies and would be involved in things which are haram, then it is not correct to stitch such clothes. But if you know these clothes are worn at home, the ladies are not going to wear it in front of the Namaram. There are some Muslim countries where people wear abaya. So if you know that it is not going to involve any haram action, then there is no problem. But if you are aware that this will be worn by ladies who normally go for parties outside and they don't wear the hijab, and you are specially catering to them, then it is not permitted for you to help them in doing haram activity. You should not stitch such clothes. So depending upon how it's going to be used, and you as a tailor know better your customers. So based on that, you have to decide whether what you're doing is haram or halal. Hope that answers the question.